Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to calculate the slope of a line from a table of values and then use that slope to determine the direction and steepness of a line. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so there are lots of ways that we can find slope, but one way that we're going to look at is to use a table of values and actually figure out what the slope is. So in order to do that, we first need to find the vertical change, and remember that vertical change means our y values. So I'm going to look at how my y values change. So to go from 7 to 5, I'm subtracting 2. 5 to 3, I'm subtracting 2. 3 to 1, and then 1 to -1. All of these I'm subtracting 2. So my vertical change is going to just be -2. The next part that we need to find is the horizontal change, and horizontal change are the x values. So I'm going to look at how those change now. To go from -2 to -1, I'm going to actually add 1. We're going up in numbers. -1 to 0, we're adding 1. 0 to 1, and 1 to 2, we are adding 1 each time. So the horizontal change is +1. So our slope for this, our change in y over change in x, remember those triangles just mean change, is going to be -2 over +1, which means that our slope is going to be -2. You can also leave it as -2 over 1, and that's totally fine. Alright, so the direction for this, we're going to just look at which way does it go. Is it a positive slope? Is it a negative slope? This one's a negative slope, so our direction is just going to be negative, which really means that when we go to graph this, our graph is going to go in a downwards direction. And then for steep and shallow, we just look at the value itself, just the 2. And we have to ask ourselves, is this number bigger than 1, or is it between 0 and 1? Because 2 is bigger than 1, our slope is considered steep. It's like saying that we're going up 2 feet when we take 1 step. It's a pretty steep direction. And that's that problem. So let's look at another one. Alright, so again, we've got our table of values and we need to find our vertical change. So to go from -1 to +1, we're going to add 2. -1 to 3, we're going to add 2. Sorry, +1 to 3, we're going to add 2. 3 to 5, and 5 to 7. We are adding 2 each time, so our vertical change is just +2. Alright, let's look at that horizontal change now. To go from -9 to -6, we are adding 3. -6 to -3, we are again adding 3. -3 to 0, and 0 to 3, we are adding 3 each time. So our horizontal change is at +3. So our slope, or our change in y over change in x, our m value, remember slope is m, is going to be 2 over 3. The direction this time, well, this time our slope is positive. So our direction is positive, which just means that when we go to graph it, it's going to go in an upwards direction. And when we look at that steep or shallow, 2/3 is between 0 and 1, so it's shallow. And that's how we find slope from a table of values. So until next time, I will see you later. Love you, bye.